Okay, let's go.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Room 404. We are the Outliers. I'm AK.
I'm Ace.
I'm T.
And today, we have a very, very special guest with us today. Somebody who has wanted to share his story, his journey, with his own followers, along with our followers as well, and was happy to use our platform as a place to be able to share this story, which we're going to get into in a minute. So this is Stevie. Is that what we're calling you today, Stevie?
Yeah, Stevie. Nice
Stevie.
to meet you, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, Stevie.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum assalam. We're going to come to that in a minute as well. Stevie, how are you? Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I had a busy day, but I'm ready to roll, yeah. Hopefully.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
No
I
worries.
don't know why I interrupted you straight away. You carry on. Have you had a good
Yeah,
day?
yeah, ready to roll. Just been in Manchester for the day, coaching one of my semi-pro teams that I coach, the Northwich Basketball Club. We played a game. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the win.
So, for the people that don't know you, you're saying team basketball coach. So, what do you do? Introduce yourself to them in a way of like what your career is and what you do.
Okay, so right now at the moment, I am a full-time basketball coach. I'm self-employed. I cover various things. So one of my thing is Nextplay. It's a community interest company that was developed off the back of me noticing that there was a lot of talented Stokey lads who don't necessarily get enough court time and can't really afford access to elite level coaching.
Stoke-on-Trent, yeah?
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Representing.
The reason why I set it up is because if you go down to London and try and access an elite level coach, you're paying around about 150 quid an hour.
Right.
And
just for a one-to-one.
Just for a one-to-one, and then you got your court fees on top of that, so it's like 50 quid an hour. So what I always see in basketball is it's always the people who've got money who make it to the highest level. And that really grinds my gears because I know there's thousands of talented lads in Stoke and female players who just haven't got that bit of extra money to access the stuff that obviously I'm trying to provide.
Yeah.
So I set that up with a view of giving them high-level coaching at an affordable community rate. And basically, I've got a view to start playing friendlies when the numbers grow because we've only been up for 3 months.
Is that it? 3 months?
Literally 3 months. Nextplay's been running, and we've grown from about like one person to probably around about 35 already.
Yeah,
Nextplay is what you're...
Yeah,
so
Nextplay Basketball. So it's Nextplay CIC online,
We'll put his
social handles.
Yeah. And I mainly do stuff on TikTok. So I've been going live for the past like 30 days just to kind
I've
of
watched a couple. I've joined you on a couple.
Yeah. And I think for me, the way I think of myself is I'm not a big creator. I'm not a big basketball coach. I'm on a desert island for basketball in Stoke-on-Trent.
You say that you're not creative, but I saw that you posted something about being part of the TikTok creator program.
Yeah.
So you can't say I'm not a creator. And
Yeah.
And then be part of that. So what's that? What's the TikTok creator?
Well, I've
program?
made about 8 pence so far, boys. So
okay.
unfortunately, I'm not a
Listen,
millionaire yet.
That's 8 pence more than you had. So
Yeah.
it's always something, innit? It's always
Definitely.
Don't spend it all at once.
I won't.
So when you play basketball, I'm gonna leave that TikTok and stuff. But basketball, you were playing basketball yourself before.
So I started off at my high school. I was never a sporty kid, and literally I kind of wanted to lose a bit of weight and gain a bit of confidence. My best mate at the time played for the West Midlands team. He said, "Stevie, why don't you come and like kind of try a club at lunchtime?"
Do you want to share how much you weighed?
So at that time, I was probably, when I was younger, I was probably about 100 kg.
Okay.
At the age of what you're talking?
14,
14
I started, yeah.
Solid effort. Solid.
That's a
That's a
great
off,
Definitely, I truffled the food down. And I went there literally with an open mind, played the first kind of game that we had. It was like a little mess about. Came out, my lungs were literally screaming at me. I was feeling like I was going to die. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I really enjoyed this. And from that moment, I fell in love with basketball. I was never the best on the team, but in a year, I managed to drop around 15 to 20 kg just through like playing basketball every day at the park and going to sessions. And I still wasn't getting the court time I wanted to. And I was really frustrated. And one day I turned around to my mum and I said to her, like, I'm thinking about quitting. And she was like, why? I was like, because I'm not getting the minutes, this and that. And she says, you know what that says about your son? I said, what? She says, well, maybe you're not good enough yet. And I went back and I thought about it. I went, because I'm from a Gypsy culture. And the thing is, I'm half Gypsy and half English. And we're very straight talking. And the mothers especially are very straight talkers.
Straight to the point.
So she was straight to the point. Although it was a little bit harsh at the time, it was exactly what I needed. And then I thought about it a couple of days. And I thought, okay, then I'm going to seek help. And the best way I thought of it was, if I want to get better as a basketball player, I need to learn what a coach knows. So I decided to take my level 1 in basketball coaching.
So was this before you, was this before you started to actually play and like...
This is what I was going to ask. So how long into you playing did you go into that coaching course?
So this was like 2 years. So I started like the coaching course when I was 16.
And the team you said you weren't getting minutes, that was a school team?
So it was a school team, but I actually started playing for a club as well, like a recreational club. And I still wasn't getting the minutes there. And the other thing I saw is the guys around me weren't really getting better. And I was sort of always the one to pull them to the side and make sure they're okay and give them a little tips and a prep talk. So I thought, do you know what? The only logical way in my head to get better as a player is see it from a coaching point of view and see what the coach knows, and then I can create my own program from that and sort of train myself to get better as a player.
So do you think your mom telling you you might not be good enough is the reason why you decided to be a coach?
Yeah.
Also, you said that
one of the reasons.
You were the one getting the lads together. Do you think that's naturally in your personality to get people together? Because that's what a coach does, don't you really? As well as knowing the game, you get people together, you know, you got to motivate them or whatnot. So you said you were doing that. So do you think that sort of led you to the coaching path?
And with the coaching as well, don't you think like a lot of the coaching stuff can't be learned or taught? It's something that comes to you naturally, and that's like that pace and management that you have, and being able to coach people at different abilities. Coaching is one thing. Coaching is like learning the stuff that you need to pass on, but being able to manage each individual based on their capabilities
and the best out of them.
That's a different thing, isn't it? So
do you think that was something that come natural to you?
Do you know what?
Or when did you first think?
It was growing up seeing my mum and my dad give to the community. They were very generous in giving people, and my mum always used to help old people out. She used to always be there for my grandma, and she used to always be there for other people. Even if they were random strangers, she'd give what she'd got. And I noticed that, and I kind of grew up with them values of like give back first and give to community and stuff like that. And my dad was always a very giving person as well. He owned a chip shop in Shelton. And obviously it was there for 25 years. He was well known in the area for being like a bit of a local chip shop legend.
Is that why you were 100 kg? After school chippies.
100%. 100%, boys, definitely. I got the free chips and I got too many of them.
Fairs.
But yeah, it was literally that. I grew up seeing them values, so I think them values were passed on, and then as it being naturally, it kind of came from my family unit to give back in the community and to make sure people are all right first and think of them as like people first and not really kind of like numbers or whatever. My dad was a very friendly person, chat to anybody. My mum was a very kind woman as well.
So what side was the Gypsy side, your dad or your mum?
So it was actually my mum.
Could you not tell by that the comment that she made to him?
My dad was a old school English gentleman, and my mum was the straight talking one, and she was like head of the household with the hammer. But I'd say it was from my mum. She had a family of around about 5 brothers and sisters. She lived in a caravan for years. They used to live in a caravan on Gypsy Lane in Blurton, if you know where that is.
Gypsy Lane.
Gypsy Lane, no.
No, I can't pinpoint it off the top of my head. But they used to live there for years. The way they kind of grew up is they never knew about benefits. And all they used to do is make stuff with their hands and go and knock on doors and sell it.
Right.
And that's how they made a living.
The real graft.
What's that,
Literally, they
80s,
graft.
90s, when you're talking 70s?
So, I don't know, 60s, 70s.
60s, 70s, okay.
Yeah, and my uncle, he actually still makes cast iron pots and pans.
Okay.
And he sells them to all the gypsies in the UK. And he actually supplies it to John Fury.
Okay.
Alright.
He's got a picture with John Fury going up to him and selling a pot. And he's well known for doing stuff like as a craftsman. So yeah, I'd say that gypsy side is from them. They decided that they're going to move into a house from the age of 12 because my uncle got really ill. And then I think the school stepped in and started to talk about benefits and what they could get. My granddad refused to move into a house. He actually lived in his caravan for about a year until he made the plunge to basically burn his caravan and push it down a hill because it's like a captain of the ship thing. You're going down with your ship.
Yeah.
And obviously his pride would not let him go in a house whatsoever. So he lived in a caravan right next to where the house was. And he wouldn't step foot into the house for years.
So would you say, like, there's a lot of things that you picked up from your parents as well? Because some of the things that you're talking about, giving back to the community and the hard graft, the work and everything, you've already mentioned that the reason why you wanted to start your own basketball coaching in Stoke-on-Trent, because you could have gone anywhere, right? And you have gone around the world, around the UK as well, I believe.
I'm a 21st century gypsy.
Yeah, so you've travelled a different way. Still a traveller.
The legal way.
But yeah, so would you say that's where all that comes from your parents, from your upbringing, that mindset of wanting to stay in Stoke-on-Trent and help the people of Stoke-on-Trent, help the kids and give them the opportunities that when you were at that age trying to pursue basketball you didn't have?
1,000%. I mean, I've probably travelled to over 22 countries.
Carry on.
And I've worked. I've worked in loads of different places, obviously coaching basketball and experienced it, but I always grew up around my uncles who used to tell me travel stories about my granddad because I never got to meet him because he died before I was born. But they always used to tell me the stories and involve me in like the big fat gypsy weddings and all that stuff. And I always got inspired. And when I was younger, I actually wanted to be an archaeologist because I was really into Indiana Jones. And I wanted to be that guy who digged up the treasure. And I think the fact that gypsies like gold so much obviously rubbed off on me. I wanted to dig for the gold so I could become a millionaire. But I also wanted to travel. That was kind of always in my head from the age of like maybe 8, 10. So I think it kind of stayed in the back of my head always. And then as the basketball stuff unfolded, I just got opportunities from everywhere, purely through social media.
Because Stoke is not really outside looking in, don't really see much interest in basketball. Because down south, they love basketball, don't they? Down London, they follow the NBA and whatnot. But in Stoke, I don't really see it. So you must have been tempted to just go London and be like, you know what, that's where the culture is. But so you decided against that.
100%. I always thought, wow, who doesn't want an easy life? Yeah. You always think, okay, let's take the path of least resistance. And you think, okay, if I go to another city, I'm going to get a better job, there's more opportunity, etc. I think that's the Stoke mindset.
I think that's everyone's mindset.
Yeah, if I was to advise them, it's like, get out of Stoke.
Yeah, exactly.
You got more opportunity.
But that's because you'll find every time you go to a city, right, and you speak to the people that were born and brought up and their childhood is in that city, they will always say the city is no good. Yeah. Because that's where they spend most of their time. Yeah. You'll always find that the opportunities or the things to do within your own city are less compared to every other city because you've done everything there is to do at a young age. Well,
maybe that's just because we live in Stoke. Do you think people in London are like, nah, go Stoke, more opportunity?
No.
Maybe in the sense of like living.
You know what? There are
a couple of guys who come from London and buy a house.
Yeah, there are people that
buy property and you can't buy property.
But people come. there are some people that have moved from London to live in Stoke because of how cheap the price
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
In
So there's
comparison.
pros and cons with each
Yeah.
city, ain't there?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
for
definitely.
us, it's more so a case where when you go into a different city, it's the unknown.
Yeah.
And then because we kind of feel like, or people that say that, they feel like obviously they know what Stoke's about.
Yeah,
So when
yeah.
you're looking at a bigger city, you're like, that's got more potential.
Yeah.
This is the benefit. But then living expenses in Stoke are going to be a lot cheaper than all these big cities
Yeah.
anyway. So
100%. Yeah, 100%.
That
So-
is, yeah.
So
sorry.
back to him. So you decided to stay in Stoke, right? You didn't.
Yeah, so I started my first head coaching job, assistant coaching job at Keele University. And weirdly enough, a random guy who was an ex-professional player, and he played in the NCAA Division 1 with an NBA legend called Chris Mullin, decided to come to Stoke for some reason. And he was coaching the men at Keele University. And I got word of it, and a player who played with me played for him. And I basically said, I want to get better at coaching. And he says, why don't you let me have a word with the coach, see if he can do you an internship or whatever. So I said, yeah, sound. Couple of weeks went by. He said, yeah, it's all cool. Come into the next session, do some voluntary for me, 3 hours a week. Be here at 6 a.m. So I was thinking, okay then, cool. So I turned up at 6 a.m., met the guy, probably about 6'5", 6'6", built like a giant, lovely, lovely man.
You're not there yet.
I wish I was there. Stepped on the court, ruthless, absolutely ruthless to the players, had high expectations, this and that, shouted at them, chewed them out, and I thought, this guy is absolutely nuts. I like it. So carried on, assistant coaching with him. He threw me right in the deep end, said, you're responsible for developing the bench players. It was guys who were the same age as me. So yeah, I was assistant coach for Keele for a year, and then we won everything basically.
Okay.
And that was when I tasted my first success as a coach, and I thought, well, I've actually contributed to something. That was a little bit bigger than the community stuff. Guys turned around to me and said, I think you should start taking this a little bit more seriously, Stevie. And I was like, well, I don't really feel confident and ready for it. He said, good, because I've put your name in the hat to apply for the head coaching role as the women's next year. I said, you what? I'm not ready for the women's. I was like, I can't even talk to my sister and my mum properly sometimes. And he was like, yeah, I've put you in. You've got no choice. And I was like, oh, okay. Had an interview, got the role. It was my first taste of head coaching at obviously a much higher level than what I was coaching at university level. Coached the team for around about 4 years off the back of 2 seasons. The 2 end season, we went undefeated twice. I became the youngest head coach in the whole of the West Midlands to win a Bucks title.
Okay,
nice.
With the women. Some of the players that I experienced, they'd played for like under 16 China national team, Gibraltar national team. And I had one girl who played for England under 14s as well, who had obviously got older and didn't play for them no more. And I thought, there's bags of talent in Stoke. And at the time, I was at university as well, studying my coaching degree. And one of the things my lecturer told me is start putting your stuff online. So I started documenting all of that journey, putting my stuff online, created a LinkedIn and a blog page, just literally documenting everything I do. At the end of the 4th season, I wakes up to a LinkedIn message. Hi, Coach Stevie. We have followed your profile. We would like to interview you for this role. It was a head of basketball operations for a camp in Maine.
Okay.
At first, I thought it was fake, and I thought, why would someone from America message me, a guy from Stoke, when there's thousands of coaches out there
massive
in
out there as
America,
well,
yeah.
and they could get somebody on the doorstep, probably ask the neighbour to come and coach.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I thought, no, this isn't true. So I did a bit of research, and it was legit. So I was like, okay, then we'll set up the interview, see how it goes. Dead nervous. I thought, this has been in my head for ages. I wanted to go to America because it was a land of basketball, and that's one of my goals, what I wanted to do. Had the interview, 2 weeks later, heard back, you've got the role.
Okay.
Within 2 months, 3 months, I was out in America.
How long were you in America for?
I was in America for 6 months. I did 4 months of coaching there. I had around about 12 age groups. I had 8 staff working for me. All 8 of them were scholarship players who were basketball players at university.
Where was this in America? Did you
was
travel
in
in
Maine.
America? In Maine.
In Maine, so it was the East Coast near Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on the East Coast.
So would you say there's a massive difference in terms of level of that age in America compared to England?
Massive.
Yeah.
I mean, I was having guys fly in on private jets.
Whoa.
Like
Whoa.
8-year-olds fly in on private jets for the
Bloody hell.
camps. And like they were telling me that they've got personal trainers, they've got athletic trainers, they've got skills coaches, and they play for like 2 basketball clubs. And I was thinking, you do that from the age of 6. We can't even get our 6-year-olds to get out of bed. And these guys are scrapping to get a scholarship.
It's levels, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, UK, England compared to America is tiny anyway.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like the whole, you know, like the colleges, universities, their stadiums, their courts, their playing fields are what the teams use for professional stuff.
College league
big
basketball.
business.
College basketball in America is massive.
Massive.
They
Yeah.
sell out
Bigger
stadiums.
than the football teams, bro.
Yeah, sell out stadiums, don't they? Everything.
So you've gone from the UK, you've gone America.
Yeah.
I believe you did Olympics,
So
England as well. What
it
was
wasn't Olympic stuff.
GB, sorry, Team GB.
So basically, off the back of America, I got offered the role again. Did really, really well. Learned a lot. Realised I hated America.
yeah.
Yeah, I hated America. I'm too British. I'm too polite.
So you hated the people.
Yeah.
You hate the Americans.
Well, there was some alright people. But
You
obviously
would
didn't
say
really gel.
hate is more you didn't gel with
Yeah,
the environment.
yeah, of
the
course.
environment's different.
Because
Yeah, of
coaching
course.
different nationality must be hard, innit? Like, because you don't understand them people. You
It's
know,
different
coach-
culture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So coaching is all about understanding the
Literally,
players that you're coaching.
the cultural
so,
nuances of it,
exactly.
yeah, and that's what it
trash,
was about.
100%.
And then, yeah, so
Okay.
came back, did that.
Okay.
And basically what I think, if you want to skip on to the GB stuff, because obviously I went to China
Yeah.
off the back of that. But the GB stuff happened where I was coaching a local team in Stoke. We played a game in Birmingham.
Okay.
It was a load of young lads in the team, and I took them and we played the top team in the league, and we thought, do you know what, we're having them, because they'd won like 5 games in a row and we'd not won a single game. So I thought, okay, then I'll come up with a plan, we're having him. And I actually played myself. So there was
Okay.
3 older lads, and the rest of them were all young guys who were like 16. Anyway, the game went on 55-55 in the last quarter. So I was like, we got this, you know what I mean? And we didn't win the game. It came down to the last minute, but we made an impact. And one of the referees came up to me at the end and he said, you played a really good game. And I introduced myself, told him a bit about what I did. His name was Steve Barnes. And Steve Barnes was an ex-professional basketball player who's one of the best prospects to come out the UK in Birmingham. He played in the NCAA Division 1, and he just happened to need an assistant coach at GB Maxi. Messaged him, thanks for the game, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Guys messaged me back saying, have you ever thought about applying to be an assistant coach for GB? I said, yeah, of course I have. Basically, I got a trial. There was a selection process. I had to go and kind of try out for it, and got it. Went to Nottingham, did a load of sessions. I actually coached at the Europeans, the European Maxi, which was based in Italy. The guys, I actually coached the
traveler, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's mad all through basketball as well.
Live the gypsy life, but through a different route.
Literally, I have to find my way, don't I, as a Stokey lad. So, did that. It was actually the GB 45s I was coaching, because they go up to like 65s. So they go the youth stuff and they go the older stuff as well. All the players I was helping coach, they'd all been ex-professionals. They'd all had a scholarship to universities, and I was like, wow.
You've coached a lot of different ages, and you've discussed. You've been to America, UK as well. You've coached female and male both.
Yeah.
And the next phase, you go on from here. It changes a lot for you and the direction that you take in life. Now, before we get onto that,
Yeah.
this is the reason why you're here.
Yeah,
right.
of course.
What you're about to say now, right? What we're going to start off with. There's a lot of people on your social media platform that are following you, that look up to you, that have followed your journey. Do not know this about you.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that you're
Exclusive.
about to reveal this.
Ever.
right?
Yeah, ever.
Exclusive on the Outliers, right?
Ever.
So,
And I'm not switching over to football.
so this is the first time you're going to say it. So I'm going to let you do the honors, and then we'll ask you questions regarding that.
Okay, so what I wanted to release in effort to kind of get the people who follow me and the people who are liking the stuff I want to do is I wanted to release a bit more of me, because I feel like the environment of TikTok and Instagram is too fake. So I wanted to be real with the people. I'm actually a Muslim revert, and I decided to revert around about 8 years ago. And I think the chain of events throughout my life has built up to the moment of where I decided to revert. So let me start from the beginning.
Before you do, why did you choose to release that with us? That's what I was
wondering, bro.
That's a lot of people that are
Yeah.
watching this, right? They're gonna
Yeah, it's a
ask
good
the
question.
same question, because we've just started similar time
Yeah.
to you, right? And alhamdulillah, we're doing well. We're doing good enough for our standards, for what we're doing. But when you approached us, for us, it was still why us.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
it's something personal
Yeah.
to you. It's big
Yeah.
for you, because, like you said, there's a lot of people around you
Yeah.
that don't know that you've actually reverted to
Yeah.
being a Muslim.
Even more so now, you mentioned obviously it's been 8 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously within that 8-year time scale, it's like, what kind of step were you waiting for to kind of share this, or why now? Why not before?
The transparency makes sense. That's what you say, because
Yeah.
you want to be transparent to the people that are.
Yeah, I do. I think the first one is the reason why I wanted to release it with you guys is because when I watched and when I followed your podcast, you were really down to earth. You discussed Islam.
He doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
So he's in the other side.
You discussed Islam, you discussed life, and you discussed all the modern day topics. And I think from me, it's like these guys are going somewhere, and I want to be on that journey with you guys. And I also kind of want to stick together with Stokey lads and kind of go to a similar destination. But the other thing is, I noticed that like you'd openly tie Islam to different parts of your life, and you'd kind of release stuff of what you've done and this and that. So I thought, you know what, this would be a comfortable platform for me to release this. And the other thing is, I know you guys are going to get massive from doing stuff like this. Honestly, I believe. I'm not just capping you. Literally, I know you're going to get massive from what you're going to do. So I felt comfortable enough to come on this platform and thought, I can link everything together and share my story in hopes that even one person sees it and they get inspired and think, do you know what? I'm a lad from a council estate. I used to eat too much chips. And maybe I do want to convert to Islam. Never know.
So,
you know what I mean?
Go ahead.
So, firstly, we appreciate that. We appreciate the feedback, and for us, it goes a long way anyway. But like, it means a lot for us, so it keeps us going, keeps us motivated as well. So your journey to Islam. So, when we had that discussion, you said there was something that happened in China.
Chain of events, chain of events. So if you want to cover the China stuff,
so China, so because
you give us your order where
I'll give you a brief. To cut a long story short.
Yeah.
So brief was, I grew up with a lot of Muslim people.
Yeah.
I grew up in a Gypsy household, which we live very similar to Muslims.
Yeah.
The Muslim people would always treat me very different to the non-Muslim people. And I'd be like, what does this guy want from me? Why is
What's
he giving
different?
why is he giving me lifts everywhere? Why is he paying for me food?
Oh, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd never have that love from anybody apart from my family and a couple of other key friends who were non-Muslim. And it made me curious. And then from that, as I I asked more questions about the religion and got more interested in this and that. And I think from my travels, skipping on to the China story, I was actually got offered a contract in Shanghai from a year of already coaching in China. And they said they could basically get me in with the Shanghai Sharks, which was a Chinese professional team.
Right.
They offered me a job. They said, go there, we can get you in with the Shanghai Sharks, and you can start your professional coaching journey. So I thought, this is it. I finally found the goal I wanted to find as an archaeologist when I was 10 years old. Went there 2 weeks into the training, told me to take a day off. Took a day off, wondered why I was taking a day off in teacher's training, went back, asked a load of questions. I was pulled into an office by another teacher, and the teacher told me that I wanted to tell you why you were kind of had to take a day off because you've been asking questions, and I wanted to be honest with you. They said they've actually haven't got a teaching license for you. Your teaching license is pending.
They're illegally working.
Basically, I was an illegal worker, and the police
Coming over
the
here,
police
taking
had come
over
in.
our jobs.
Yeah, one of them. Taking all of them, all the toilet cleaning ones. So I had a choice. I had a choice to go home and close that chapter, or they actually offered me to pay me extra money for me to stay there and wait for the teaching license to go through. I said no. Realised they'd still got my passport, and basically they said, we're not giving you your passport back until you actually pay out of your housing contract. So I was
And that
like,
was something
what?
that they were supposed to have provided you as
Basically,
part of the
they
package.
forged my signature on the housing contract without me knowing. And so I had a choice. Obviously, I had to pay it. I think it was about 2.5K I had to pay, which was a lot of money, especially when I needed to get a flight home. Paid it. They gave me my passport back. I was there on my birthday in the airport, feeling sorry for myself. Came home. Thought literally my world was over. And
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
because I put all my investment in that. You get me?
Everything was in one basket, one each, and
Literally.
then, so you've come back.
Yeah.
So you've left that, and
Yeah.
fair enough, you've walked away from that, right? What mental state were you in when you got back?
I was in a mental state of, why am I always chasing things? And every big goal I hit, why does it always feel meaningless? And it became like a drug for me to achieve goals. And then I reflected deep on myself, and I thought, what is the true purpose of life?
Deep.
And then it came back to the religious question.
So was that when you started questioning the religion, as in, because were you part of any sort of religion? Were you Christian? Were you?
So
was
just
that-
these questions have always been in your head.
So I
and
think,
now you
obviously,
want
my
the
mum
answers.
was Orthodox Christian,
Okay.
which was like the original Christian stem. And obviously, we'd always been brought up Christian. We're not super religion. We just inherited the religion,
Okay.
and we
Yeah.
just practiced the traditions, etc. But then I kind of looped back into Christianity, and it never made sense to me because I used to go church all the time, and I thought, why is God three people? I thought there's no logic in that. I thought, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean?
No, I got you.
And I questioned it more, and the more I had that thought in my head, I started reaching into other religions. I looked at Islam and thought, nah, these guys are a load of wife beaters. Literally, loads of wife beaters, mate. And I thought,
so that's the media,
Yeah.
right? They've portrayed to you that
Yeah.
Muslims are like this, aren't
that's
they?
the British mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, nah, I can't join this religion. But the more I started looking into it, the more it became logical. And I thought, I can't deny this. So I went to a local mosque, asked the imam these questions, and I said, is Islam a wife-beater religion? and I asked him, do they oppress women? Why do they fast? Why do they starve themselves in Ramadan and don't eat no food or water? Are they crazy? I asked him these real questions. He said stuff to me that was so beautiful and so logical. I was like, okay. And he was dead calm about it. So I thought, nah, this guy's lying. I'm going to have to go to another mosque. Went to another mosque, asked him the same questions, said the same thing again. So I went back to one of my Muslim friends, and asked him the same questions and see what he said. And he was like, yeah, it's actually true. So I thought, whoa.
So at this point, you're still fishing, aren't you? You're still there trying
Basically,
to see if
yeah.
you want to actually revert to Islam, or
Yeah.
if that's where if you really want to
Yeah.
make that jump, because it is a jump for you, isn't it? You're
Massive.
sacrificing a number of things to.
Listen, brother, I grew up eating bacon sandwiches, but it wasn't the hardest thing for me, don't worry, because I switched to turkey bacon. So, yeah, I think the biggest jump and the biggest kind of thing for me to kind of switch over and not switch over was me thinking, well, how am I going to be this perfect Muslim? How am I going to pray 5 times a day? How am I going to release this to my friends and my family? And what are they going to think about me? Am I going to lose friends? Like, am I going to be an outcast of society?
Did you lose friends?
Yeah. I lost friends, but do you know what? I've made better friends. And more people have come to me along the way who were better friends than ever. I mean, I lost all my friends at uni because they basically turned around and said to me, I was brainwashed. And I'm going to turn into a jihadi.
Jihadi John.
Yeah, Jihadi John.
John. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
They're going to start
Jihadi
calling
John.
you that, so we might as well start.
Literally. Obviously, as I lost them, more of Muslim people stepped into my life and kind of guided me. But I had some people with the right intentions sort of saying, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. And I thought, this is overloading my head. It's too much.
Yeah.
And I had the other guys who knew how to deal with reverts saying, take it easy.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, then I'll take it easy. Maybe I can do this. So all the things I thought in my head, I got rid of the doubt, and I thought the more I read into this, the more it became the truth, and it started to become me. So I thought, I can't deny this no longer, man. So I took my shahada. I forgot what year it was, 8 years ago, let's say. And I started to obviously learn little bits, and my friend was saying, don't learn too much,
One
because
step
you'll
at a
just
time,
walk
yeah.
away from it. And he said, take it easy, and even if it takes you 6 years, 8 years, whatever, take it easy, start with a prayer, and then just don't try to become this perfect Muslim, because there's no perfect Muslims on this earth.
100%.
The word perfect and the definition of like perfection or whatnot is more of a worldly thing.
Yeah.
It's where people trying to achieve something that is pretty much impossible to achieve, no
Yeah.
matter what the situation is.
We're not meant to be perfect.
yeah,
Humans
we're-
are not meant to be.
Plus,
Yeah,
it's on,
we
it's
weren't
down
made
to
like that,
perception,
innit?
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
of course.
everyone's
Yeah.
view on someone being perfect, or it's going to differ person
Yeah.
to person anyway. But I'd say, at least on the plus side, you can still bring up the bacon.
So friends, one thing. It seems like you had a couple of right people around you that instructed you, give you the right guidance. In the
Yeah,
sense of
100%.
don't overwhelm yourself so much, because the hard part for you was reverting anyway,
Yeah.
making that jump. Right. Once you made that jump, you've accepted that this is the religion for you.
This is the
Because
truth,
even
yeah.
us as people, Muslims that are born in Muslim families, we still have to make that choice as well.
Yeah.
That this religion is for us. But it's harder for someone who isn't born into the family to
Yeah.
accept it as there. So that's a very difficult step to take.
Yeah.
What about your family?
So my family are very accepting people.
Yeah.
They've always been multicultural, been very understanding, respectful of other religions, diversity, etc. They've always taught me to not judge people, to understand them first. So they were very accepting of it. I kind of think at first they thought it was a little bit of a phase and I was going to get over it,
Yeah.
and they didn't really take it seriously until they started seeing the action of me pray. And they started seeing me kind of be different towards them as a family. And they started thinking, why is he at home more? Why is he asking me to bring bread from the shop and stuff like that? And these are stuff like I was never really consistent with until I'd obviously read into Islam more and realized that I looked at myself as a person and I thought, I'm not displaying the things that I need to be doing to please Allah.
So what? Because we're gonna have a part 2 with you, which we discussed because
Nice.
of the fact that we messed up. I messed up with the timing and everything.
That's cool.
Got here a bit late.
Cool.
We're definitely gonna have a part 2. But before we end this, Um, what I wanted to ask you was, one, how has it made you feel? How your mental health has changed since you've reverted? And two, what impact do you want this to have on the people that are following you for your basketball coaching thing?
Yeah. I'd say from a mental clarity point of view, I'd say I'm more grounded and I'm more conscious about my actions, my words, and the values that I have. And I'm more reflective about kind of the stuff I do in my daily life. I feel more purposeful. I feel like basketball isn't just my purpose anymore. And if that all goes wrong, I realize that my purpose is to obviously please Allah and go to Jannah. It makes me more grounded, inshallah. I think the second thing that you asked, what was the second thing you asked?
What impact do you think it'll have on the people that are following you for the basketball coaching system? Because that's what ultimately you wanted transparency, didn't you? You want the people that are watching your videos, that are following you, that are following your journey, and the people that are going to be sending their kids towards you to help you, for you to be the person who's going to guide them in the coaching. What do you want? What do you think that impact is going to be?
So I'm hoping more Muslims will bring me food in Ramadan.
I think
he's going back to the 100 kg.
He's got some extreme measures. He's gone to some extreme measures to get that food.
This video's going to come out. He's going back to 120 kg.
He's going to end up looking like
Keep
a basketball again.
Yeah. So the food
And that's the number one part, obviously. But the number two part is I want people to get to know me. And I don't want them to see me as Coach Stevie, the coach who's done all this thing, traveled to 9 different countries, been a coach for 20 years, and achieved stuff most Stokey lads probably will not achieve, well, can achieve in basketball yet. And I say yet because anyone can achieve it. I want them to be inspired by my story. I want them to learn something from me. And the reason why I'm releasing the revert thing is because, like I say, I want that transparency. I want people to come to Nextplay and think they know me.
Of course, and if you're trying to inspire people, then what better way to inspire by showing them the steps that you've taken in your life during uncomfortable situations, during your worst situations, to make a step that people couldn't even dream of. There are a lot of people that even if they considered it, they would not approach anybody and talk to anybody about it. Because of how the Muslim community or the religion is portrayed, right? Maybe
it's the stigmas attached to it.
So minority, the actions of a couple of idiots. That's what it is. But Steve, it's been absolutely brilliant to have you.
No worries.
Pleasure.
Once again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And choosing our platform. We are going to have a part 2 for this.
Inshallah,
Just anybody who does want to see part 2, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you follow Stevie over here, Nextplay Basketball. We're going to see more of him, inshallah, in the future. And on that note, we've been the Outliers. I'm AK.
I'm Ace.
I'm T.
And this is...
And I'm Coach Stevie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.